Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's program. We have a packed audience with people from around the world joining today's class. Okay, that's not true, but here's what we're going to do. Let's go over some of the foundations of it all. Who knows? I know. Let's see what's going to go on today. Who knows what the three powers of Qigong are? Anybody?
Wow, nothing like putting us on the spot.
What are the three powers of Qigong?
I know this. Hold on.
Of Qigong. We're going to do a little review.
Three powers pour into the three treasures.
They sure do.
So the three powers. Oh, poop. Lina, help me.
I always get it wrong with the three treasures, but it's not the sky, body, and it's sky, body, and spirit, earth.
A sky is like spirit. Yes, three powers. Sky is synonymous with spirit and God in this philosophy. So
I have it. Okay.
can realize that our daily lives are concerned with all sorts of things, yet the three powers are trying to pour into the three treasures. So the sky is trying to pour down, the nature is trying to pour in, the earth's trying to pour up. So if in fact we can surrender to the three powers, then a healing happens inside of the brain and body. Now this is how it works. Luckily, the Qigong is such a great way of talking about how healing works that it shouldn't really be considered a philosophy necessarily. It's just how it works, like science. So science would say, or truth would say, that we're thinking and doing and all this stuff all the time. Meanwhile, there's trees and oceans and mountains, and I think that it's a good idea to pay attention to them. But somehow, we don't feel that's important. So if we interrupt our thought process and we say, oh, three powers, or you just want to make it sky and nature, then power pours into the body. So we can interrupt our thought process, say 10, say 5, and allow this to occur. Now, once it does, we feel better. Once you feel better on the inside, can you do this? Once you feel better, your senses open up. Your psyche opens up. And there's this other scientific thing called Schumann coupling. Schumann coupling means that your magnetic bioenergy couples with the energy that's in the air. So there's energy in the air and it's pulsing at 7 hertz. That's the average frequency that's pulsing. That's Schumann resonance. The problem with a lot of truths is that so many people have heard them and say, like breathing, proper breathing. So many people have heard them and see them and have done them that we automatically don't restart over again to do it better. So that's the same with this Schumann resonance. You say Schumann resonance, everybody goes, oh, I know what that is. Only don't know, the Tao Te Ching says, only don't know. So if we only don't know, we can start again by saying, how does healing work? How can I transform my life into more healing? Well, once the cortex and the senses are calm, because you have some kind of great contact, your senses open up. Scientifically, they say a person that does this, their magnetic energy in their body links to the magnetic energy that's in the air. Now, you can't find the magnetic energy that's in the air if you're mentally obsessing. The only way to not mentally obsess is to follow directions. And that's the last thing we want to do. But that's the only way. Because now you're not the causative factor in your process. The causative factor is bigger than you. So the instruction says, notice the sky, notice the tree, notice the nature, notice the earth, and do it in a specific way, 10 seconds, 5 minutes. Now, it shows by measuring a person's magnetic energy that your magnetic energy is part of the magnetic energy that's in the air. It's not a tempting separation. So all of these processes is what can help us listen better. It can help us mature. It can help us be better. But this has to come first. Otherwise, there is no self-improvement. So that's the only hope I have for myself. If I improve me, everything I do is going to be better. But the improving of me is a lot of time and energy. So if you do a lot of time and energy to improve you, you're going to have your dreams come true. You want your dreams come true, right? So I'm telling you the way it's going to happen. Hope you believe me. You do this process according to non-cognitive instruction. Non-cognitive is the part that means I'm not going to think about it anymore. I'm going to do 10s, I'm going to do 5s, I'm going to do my favorites list, I'm going to do this stuff. Primarily is what I'm going to do. And that's the only reason I'm teaching, the only reason I'm talking, is to give you that chance. Because I know from the School of Hard Knocks, that's the only thing that works. Is if you get a map and you say, oh, my favorites list makes sense, I'm going to do it. And you don't think about it anymore. You do it. You get the Scribbles map and you realize you have this personal issue, you have this sadness, you have this thing, you have that thing. Of course, I'm in the same boat. And you do it. You do the steps. You breathe into it. You bring it up. You dredge up your stuff. And you breathe into it. Now, there's other methods that I've shared that have to do with this natural deep breathing. So you gotta stop the mind and go into this internal direction. That's the only path going forward that's sustainable, because you become more self-resourceful. Then you have enough clarity and humility and things like this that you can say, oh, there's this issue, I've got to address this issue. And that never ever ends. And you'll find that most people, they only do that about other people. They don't do that about themselves. So then what happens? You gain advantage. So only if you accept the instruction, trust the instruction, write it down, follow it down, that your evolution, your enlightenment is what's primary. You're not going to do anything to avoid that. You're not going to get anything to avoid that. So the defense mechanisms drop. You have some great contact that leads you to sages. You can start with whatever your interests are. And then let those interests kind of calm you down and then get to sages. So you can get back to your interests with greater efficacy later. But first, you want to make it to sages. Because only great contact is going to have you feel free that you can enjoy the nature in significant measure. And the nature is inside this room. It's right there in your room. It's right there where you are. So you become aware consciously of the air and the light and the sky and the earth. And your mind begins to include further contemplations like oceans and dolphins and whatever, because that's what is in the subject of your life. The context and the curriculum and the subject of your life is what? All this information. So where is that? It's right here. So you can only interrupt mental obsession through non-cognitive discipline, action of discipline. You can't figure it out. So everybody has to figure it out. They have to understand. That's why they can't train. So Once you realize that your pain, your confusion is the same as anybody else's, now you're grounded. And that grounding is going to animate you to get help, to receive help from what's here. So you become receptive to what's here. You don't try to go over there to get out of what's here. So 3 powers lead to 3 treasures in Qigong philosophy. All right? How are you going to do the 3 powers unless you say, oh, I'm going to pay attention to the sky. Oh, I'm going to pay attention to the flower. Oh, I'm going to go to the garden. Oh. You're going to just keep, It's like a new revelation all the time. Oh, I didn't know the stars were out. Oh. To have faith that this is what you're searching for is an action of trust, because the one that you're searching for is yourself. And what you're searching for is here. So how does a human being get to accept this? Pain and pleasure, heaven and hell. So we go through all these cycles, and then hopefully with age and maturity, we become surrendered. We become receptive. Yeah. Remember, brain science and sages say that advanced meditation is the place to get the magic. I know with my small brain that the only chance I have to improve my cognitive ability to figure out anything or to do anything or what's necessary is if I get really calm and really centered. And I would guess that's true for studying any subject. So I want you to get calm and centered and forget your worries and study yourself. Remember Dogen Zenji, the Zen guy, said, know the self is to study the self is to forget the self is to be awakened by the 10,000 teachers or healed. So that's what we're trying to get to. You develop a context about what you have to do to get healed. And some of these principles are like scriptures. They're traffic laws or guideposts or directions. So the mind, our brain, only wants something else. That's why boring repetition is one of the principles of how it works. You can't have something else all the time for 10,000 years. You got to find some principle that is great. Like Lina's teaching me about politics all the time, and I get all these neat principles. Like a feared leader doesn't last. Like all kinds of neat stuff. The sign of the fall of a democracy, what the telltale signs are. What kind of a type of democratic organization propagates and succeeds. So all of these enlightening principles are for what? Self-governance. And that self-governance then can govern. But without self-governance, that's probably in there somewhere, right? Is it, Lina? Like with self-governance, if you can have self-governance, then you can govern the outside. If you can't do self-governance, there's no use trying to govern the outside because your insides is going to ruin it because you got to create pain and drama to vent your problems. So you want to get beyond the place of perpetual drama, perpetual pain, perpetual kind of things, which I know I haven't. So what I got to do, I got to start over. I got to say that great mantra, which somebody reawakened lately. I think it was Jason, maybe. I don't know. I have a problem. I'm confused. I need help. Andrea, I was telling you, I didn't tell you the whole story, but I told you something about the girl that was stalking me and stuff like that for years and years and years. So while I told you about it yesterday, guess who called? Yeah. So that would be great, if we could all say, I don't know, I'm confused, I have a problem, I need your help. and actually mean it in a way that's genuine and not manipulative. So that is the only way that an individual can get their mind, body healed, their lives healed. So Jason said that like last year when he first did the class. He said, I saw you on some video and you said you want people to say, I'm confused, I have a problem, I need your help. I'm like, yeah. So now I remember, thank God. So after I hear something 50 times, I make it a principle. Hopefully that one becomes a principle. I'm confused, I have a problem, I need your help. So if us as individuals are not able to do that, then it doesn't matter what we think about the other person, because it's not sustainable. When you do that yourself, you draw the attack of the other person, because then the other person just starts pointing and having comments and can't shut the hell up. That's the way it rolls. So if you follow directions, I mean, once again, if there's not anybody wise enough to give you directions, then you're probably missing something, right? If you're not subject to the instruction of any human being on the entire earth, then you probably you didn't even begin anything, right? So where in your brain have you not accomplished the reality of, I am subject to these quotes and these principles and so forth? And the 3 pillars and 10 principles of political psychology that Lina's writing. I'm like the Plato. I don't know, who's the guy that wrote down? Did Plato write down for Aristotle? How did that work? Somebody wrote down for somebody.
Socrates' register were registered by Plato.
I'm Plato for Lina's. She doesn't know it yet, but there's this whole book forming. And little by little, I keep working on it. And it's all from her. And then I just give the ideas of, title it this way, like 3 pillars, 10 principles, and that's it. It's there. And Lina knows so much about this subject that she can say with, I believe, a genuine degree of authority, here's the 3 pillars of political psychology. I call it political psychology. I don't know if she's going for that yet, but that's what I like. But you might want to say government or something. But here's 3 pillars. Here's 10 principles. And those 3 pillars and 10 principles are so solid that an individual, if they're a wise individual, can be subject to them and refer to them. That's what you got to have a healing practice. You have to graduate to having 3 pillars and 10 principles. And it's got to be so repetitious. Like, I do things so long, I think about how long I've done them, and I think, oh my God, I've been doing this that long? 30 years, 40 years. I mean, the Qi started when I was 8, and then I was a student of Yang Jungming in my young 20s in the midst of problems and the rest of it. I would always go back and forth between problems and studying. So these same studies, these same principles go back for me so long, and I still have no idea what I'm doing. So what do you have to do? How precise do you have to be about 3 pillars, 10 principles? You have to be precise, because only after 10,000 repetitions, some science says, I don't know if it's true or not, but there's this science that says only after 10,000 repetitions does somebody get an idea of the understanding or the skill. But remember, one of the principles around here is that only endless repetition creates skill. And I've said it so many times, you can do it for getting a degree. You can do it for a job. You can do it for so many things. Can you do it for yourself? My karma is not your karma. I might be very dumb in many, many ways, and you're very smart in many ways, and vice versa. That's not the point. I'm not delivering authority in that sense here. I'm only delivering how it works. That you got to develop 3 pillars and 10 principles or whatever, and you got to subject yourself and start the art of boring repetition. And my vote of authority is that that's the only thing that's ever going to work for your whole life. There's never going to be anything else that ever would work for your whole life. Never. So either you want to believe me or you don't believe me. That's not my problem. But I'm trying to tell you to save you trouble. Because I know about trouble, don't I? So to save you from trouble, you can have this idea of reverse the search. This kind of stuff is primary. Make your way to just 10 seconds, 5 minutes. I'm not giving some degree of perfection that you have to meet. I'm only saying if we're going to work together, then we're working together. That's all. If I'm saying something of value, then okay, you receive it in this forum. In other forums, if we're just being friends or if we're being married or if we're, that's a different forum. This is my forum. And in this forum, there's something that I would certainly much rather die than give up. And that is, I'm going to do this today. I don't know what you're doing, whoever you are, whoever I'm talking to. That's not my main concern. My main concern is what I'm doing. I can't concentrate on everyone all the time. So that's my gift to you, if you want it, is that you can find a way to become profoundly encouraged today and profoundly healed today if you would just accept specific instruction. And as I've said many, many times, okay, maybe I'm not the one to give you specific instruction. I don't know how you're going to do any better because I am quite excellent. But there's got to be something and someone that gives you precise, specific instruction to do with how to meditate. Here's some sages and saints, and it's got to be ongoing for a lifetime. You've really, your whole life depends on that. I know it does because I see everybody all the time. I've always talked to everybody and listened to everybody in some measure in my life. I always, I guess, see about people, like what's their purpose, what they're doing. See, I had such a cry for healing. I always kind of wondered, when is somebody going to talk about how to get healed today? Or what a sage is? And it just never happens. So I noticed that the world doesn't do that. There's just no interest. And I also noticed that as the years go on, people lose their emotional and cognitive ability. Generally speaking, seems to diminish. Less availability to learn new things, to become a different person. Well, luckily, my life was so demolished that it's intact in my brain that the only kind of person I can be and be alive is to be a different person. So it's not like, it's either that or dead. So if the only species in nature that survive are those that self-reinvent, does that apply to you? If it applies to you, today's a wonderful day to get flowers. Did you get the flowers, Andrea? Honey pie.
By the time I got my car, they closed.
Oh, really? That long? Okay.
Yeah.
Monday?
That's my plan.
I hope so. It'd be so nice to have some flowers. She was loving our garden and I was saying, get some flowers. And I looked at the website of where she could get the flowers, and it was open for a few more hours, but we were going on and on with what is meditation. How was that session yesterday?
It was very good. My headache went away. I feel so much better today.
And you grew a new limb?
Sure, hopefully. A new limb of of healing and energetics, not a physical limb.
So that's all I have, I'm going to go from here to a place of profound healing, and you're going to both experience it with me. That's all I got. That's it. I don't have anything else. I don't want anything else. So if you can continue to repeat that action, and remember, it's just doable, tens, fives, customized. You could find a way to be subject. Because if you can't be subject, and if you can't be a student, you will be crushed. Make no doubt about that whatsoever. You are not as intelligent as a sage, period. And if you try to battle wits against a sage, which I'm not, but I'm connected to, you're going to lose. Don't be the leader. Don't try to be the leader around here, because it ain't going to work. Because my whole life and death is devoted to those people. So you please tell me how the hell you're going to keep up with that. Do you really think you can strategize with me to keep up with that? Anybody that's listening, whether it's recorded or online, you're mistaken. You have to have respect for what a sage is and be a follower. And if you can't find that, now I found that out. That's why I'm so confident in telling you what's necessary. You're not battling wits with the universe. You're not battling wits with a sage. You're not in control. If you're in control, be sure you're going to be crushed. If you're the one designing life and your future, have no doubt that you're going to experience. So unless you get that in your brain, unless I get that in my brain, unless we get that in our brains, there's just absolutely, you have no hope. I have no hope for the future. You cannot heal the insides and constantly be the one that's in control. Neither can I. So that's really the whole basis of enlightenment, is that you become a student of the sky, a student of the earth, a student of wisdom. And that's what you're doing today. So at the end of today, you make a check mark whether you did that with your thoughts and your actions today. And if you didn't, then make sure that you need instruction, that you know that you need to be guided. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do our best to be a conduit of wisdom. Remember the idea of a computer attempting independence from the net or other computers, or a computer connected in series to all the computers. So that's creative genius. That's an enlightened person. And the whole thing has got to do with personal surrender. So even though I don't do it that well, I'm utterly consumed with personal surrender. I'm totally consumed by it in my sleep, my daily life. And again, my karma is not your karma. So you can point your finger at me and go, you are concerned with personal surrender? You're the most arrogant, controlling thing I ever saw in my life, or whatever. And I'm sure you're right. But from my standpoint, there's phenomenal progress in the last so many years of my life. And so I'm fine being imperfect, and I'm fine being separated from anybody's influence when it comes to what you're supposed to do today and what life's about, unless it's a conversation about wisdom and truth authorities. And then personalities, can breathe into that. Like Lina and I go to the garden and we talk, and it breathes into the idea of what today's purpose is. So you can meet together and join together as the little humans we are and have it breathe into that purpose. But I want you to take a look at your brain and see if you have this conscious clarity that I do, to do with what's the purpose of life? Where am I headed? What am I doing today? You don't have to worry about the purpose of life. It's easy. Heal yourself and heal others. There's not some confusion about what the purpose of life is. The purpose of life is the same for all of us. We're going to try to be healed. We're going to try to heal the other person. That's the purpose of life is. So you've got a human genome, and the human genome, like the coronavirus, is trying to survive and trying to propagate itself, and it's learning. If it doesn't learn, it doesn't evolve. It doesn't adapt. It doesn't change. Well, beyond our conscious mind, I think the human genome is going to evolve no matter what. So our conscious mind is like the whole problem, because we're not allowing like evolution to occur as it's already occurring in us. There's a magnetic pull from the universe that's causing our healing, that's causing our evolution, but we're busy. Don't be busy. Surrender to this today, and you can see the first principle, or was it the second principle, whatever principle, third maybe. I always change it. One moment can change everything. So you have boring repetition. One moment can change everything. You have the stuck spot list. You have Zen. Oh, am I saying something interesting now? Huh? Ah. La, 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 la. La, la, ah, 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 ah. Get on the horses. I'll send money.
She said I'll take it, but no.
No, only if you go on the horses.
He can't see you from standing there. And look at my
If you
dog.
go on the horses, let me know. You'll get a reward.
Oh,
The horses
goes
are
like
great
this.
people. Lina and I were horseback riding. How long ago was that, honey? Was that like last year? Long time.
Yes, actually, yeah, last year in Aspen, I think so.
Yeah, in Aspen, Colorado. We're up
wow.
in the mountains horseback riding. And Lena just kept on taking off and running fast, and I was scared to death I was going to fall off.
Oh, that cute doggy.
Isn't she cute? Thank you.
Hey, that's like Firu, isn't it?
Yeah,
She's
he's
like
like
hanging
a
up
French bulldog.
She's a Maltese.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. They grow very large hair.
She's so funny. She
Wow,
keeps
it's
barking.
beautiful. Oh my god.
Say hi, Zona.
Wow.
Oh, you look so cute. It's like a teddy bear.
Yes, it's so like a teddy bear.
Oh
Did
my
you
gosh.
groom her?
Yeah, she just got her hair cut. That's why she looks cuter.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Otherwise, her hair grows so huge.
Oh my god. Oh, that's super cute.
Thank you.
Like his ears very long. Oh.
Uh-oh, there she goes.
She's leaving us now.
Well, I was about to do a training. All right, let's put right hand on chest, left hand on belly. And let's see if you can breathe in such a way that the chest is calm and the belly moves in and out. Which way does the belly move, honey?
When inhaling, the belly expands, and when exhaling, the belly contracts.
Yes. All right, let's see if you could do it. Look, my chest goes in when I inhale. Remember the reference? Olympic ski team trainers and a room full of doctors and nurses, and both times I realized that, oh my God, everybody talks about breathing. Nobody can do it. It's still true today. You actually have to keep learning. We were talking about this morning. You always have to have the need to improve the learning. So this is not like something you do. You have to do it better for the next 200 years. It's very important because it grounds your brain. It gives you emotional hygiene. So my chest goes in. Can anybody's chest goes in when you inhale? The chest goes in, the belly expands. Where's Zen?
She went to her room.
All right.
She's fresh.
Okay.
Must mean I'm fresh.
Aha. Like mother, like daughter. Let me see. Oh, that's good, honey. See how the chest is different now than it was in the beginning? So you continue to work with this, even though you get put on the spot, it's amazing for what it does for personal health. All right. And remember, I'm not talking about me. I'm not a guru. I'm talking about the principles. That's the only thing that I can fight for. I know the principles are right. I know the practices are right. So let's just do that. 2 hands like this and the fingers in the belly button.
In it?
Yeah.
No,
Let me
no,
see.
I can't. I
Yeah, belly
can't.
button. Do you know that she has a thing about belly buttons, Lena?
It's
She
so
has a big
bad.
nightmare. She has a terror about belly button. I don't know why.
I don't either. It's so bad since I was a kid. I can't touch it, but I'll go near it.
No, fingers in the belly button.
In it, the hole?
In the hole. Let's go.
Oh, I can't.
Let's go.
Oh, can't.
Denmark. Ha!
But I don't like the feeling. You guys don't get a weird feeling from that? You do?
Okay.
Did that
Push
just
out.
give you something? What?
Out when you inhale. Push your belly button out towards the environment. On the inhale.
I can't put my fingers in it.
Oh, pardon me. Belly button pushes out on the inhale. And belly button pushes in on the exhale. The 3 powers happen as you get further into your training because your eyes and your ears become non-local. Non-locality in physics means that you like a mystic, you kind of see everything. So as you go forward over the next time frame here, make sure that your eyes and your ears and your nose and your mind and your body is connecting with nature. So that if I look into your eyes, I can see that you're no longer in shock. Because right now you're in shock. That's how people live, in shock.
You said belly button.
Subject object awareness. Okay, hands like this. And put the back of your hands, this is the back of your hands, on the lower back with your thumbs up. And start to breathe and expand your lower back on the inhale. Exhale, push in. But something on the great contact list will cause you to feel safe to express your problems. If I can't do that for you, then you have to find it yourself. Hopefully I can do it for you. But you're not going to express your problems and issues and fears and whatever unless you feel safe. So I've given you a step-by-step procedure to which you can feel safe. And until I become super guru, you better accept that until I can do it. So we're on our way to that, okay? It's amazing how non-cognitive it is. Keep doing that. Meaning non-cognitive, meaning you just follow the directions. I'm going to read some of that document. So it seems like I'm very much boring and not user-friendly and negative. You know why? Because, well, one of the main reasons anyway, is that people just absolutely cannot expose their issues. In general, we just don't do that. We don't like have a problem. Keep doing that breathing, okay? And let's see what the problems are. Remember what Lina said about studying for the citizenship. And that's from a true genius in my experience. I'm not confident. How does a super A scholarship person say, I'm not confident about studying for a citizenship exam that anybody could pass? What? That is a perfect representation of a true student. Stop being confident knowing things. I'm getting tired of it. Get into your problems. I just mean with the whole world in general. Get into your make sure step one happens. Don't be confident in the sense of like being confident. Confidence can happen, right? But be more concerned with, I'm not confident. You have to get step one happening. If step one doesn't happen, you just can't get the magic. Where's step one? Here we go. Burst your own bubble and ground yourself. You could stop to the degree where deep breathing begins. Effort comes in many forms. Working with felt discomfort mentally and physically, feeling awkward, uncoordinated, not good enough, problem solving. The only reason why this has to be so boring and uncomfortable and repeated is because you can't do it. You're completely attached to something over there and some thought, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to be on top of it. You, me, her, him, totally addicted to that. External solution, personal problem, commentary, everything. It's all over there. So then cycles of life brings us to feeling unsure and confused and things like that. Why don't you do that consciously rather than being brought down by it? And then you're confused. I'm really messed up. I'm really not good enough. No, consciously realize that, you know, you're the same thing as the human genome and you got more issues than tissues. Deep breathing naturally begins when these types of experiences are elicited. Uh-oh. This OneDrive. Welcome to the Will Show. I'm glad you had time to tune in today. Soon we're going to do some singing and dancing, and that singing and dancing is going to make us feel great, where we can do anything. Okay, breathe into it. Be specific about some unresolved personal issue, disease or distortion. Are you getting the idea that that's the way to be free from issues? Did I explain this yet? Well enough. Remember some negative relational dynamic you're worried about. Feel the fear. If you don't breathe into it, you have no chance to be a contributor to change that dynamic.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So I guess there's a difference between knowing that I have a problem and feeling that I have a problem.
Oh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
So when you really want to go into step one, it sounds like to go receive the miracle, you really need to feel that you have the problem. And so I find that some days I can feel that, and some days it's just in my head, like I know I have this problem, and I'm kind of just like, yep, I have this problem. So there's I don't know how, is there a specific way to get to that where you really feel your problem, even though it seems to be the same darn problem every day?
Yes. The Scribbles map daily hardwired reality. So if you have so many problems that you're actually hardwired in these problems or these diseases or these distortions, and they're observable in your body, well, that hardwiring is not changing.
Meaning like I have chronic pain in my neck and shoulder. You're saying like that's the route to link into the hardwiring of the problem that I have, right?
Yeah, they're one and the
Okay.
same. The body is a manifestation of the mind,
Okay.
and the thoughts in the mind are like a song talking about a story.
Okay.
I just made that up. A song's talking about a story, and the biological biography is the story on the, and the deeper level than that is the feeling. The mind is a pointer to it all, and the mind is like that song as well. So the mind, the thoughts, the emotions, all this stuff is attempting to give commentary to the hardwired genetic reality or hardwired trauma or hardwired incompetence that is such a part of you that you don't have much a chance of changing it. You have to think that way if you want change. So talking about change and miracles and everything, that's after you accept defeat. So if you truly are defeated in life, I mean, who's not defeated in life? You're going to grow old and drop over dead. I mean, I don't understand. What is all this confidence and surety and being on top of it? It's all fantasy land. What is all this thought? What's it for? What is it doing? You need to feel inside your body. So if you have a scribbles map that understands this area of my body, this area of my mind, this area of my relationships, this area of how I listen, this area of how I speak, well, now you've got this clear picture. It's kind of like, you take a car in to get fixed up and it's got multiple issues. So if some of your issues go back 1,000 years, or some of your issues are deep seated, you could say. So really it's being in this constant contact with those deep issues, then you're not afraid of the car going by anymore. It doesn't relate to this whole story about the world and conspiracy and what that is and what that is. It doesn't do that anymore. You just say, oh, I have to center myself because this projection is coming at me. And it's exposing where it is that I have issues in my tissues. Because once I listen better, for example, is some great journey in life that I never make progress at. Once I listen well enough, a whole host of problems will be resolved for me and her. Oh, I have to listen. Do you know that I imagine drills going into my ears so that I can try to listen more? You know that my father and my grandfather, they listened like zero. Anyway, so that's a big issue for me, and I'm determined to fix it. And so I do surgery on my ears and I do all kinds of things. But the issue is so deep that, it's just freaking hopeless. So if I can remember that, then talk to me in 10 years. Let's see how well I listen. I bet you I listen a whole nother world better. Because that's what I'm doing today. What are you doing today? So you have this scribbles map, and this scribble map should relate to neurological things that have psychological conversations about them. I do this. When the former husband calls, I freak out. When he does this, I get sad, or all whatever your conversations are. And when I think too much or too much output, my digestion suffers. You start to have a clear, this is what you're supposed to be doing today. And so you can do that. You can actually make a clear understanding about these hardwired personal issues that you have as an individual. It doesn't matter what else you're doing. This is what you're doing today. Please just accept it. If you really know that this is what life is attempting to do, is to evolve you and heal you and give you more happiness, give you more health, then no matter what else you do, you can put it into this. No matter what conversation you have, no matter what you're talking, no matter what's going on, You know, if the former husband is talking and this and that, and everything, it can all go into your personal healing. Not who is he and what can he do and how can I have him do this and what can I do that and do this. No, who are you? And what are you learning? That's it. Reverse the search. So you develop a clear understanding, almost like, for me, it's like a picture of a distorted me. You know, like if there's a painting of a distorted me, it was weirded out in whatever ways, I stay with that. So you can feel in your neurology some of this stuff. And if you feel this in your neurology as part of what you're doing today, you're going to get stronger, basically. You're going to develop more magnetism. Once you have great magnetism, you can do anything you want, but great power, great responsibility. So all the power that you develop from doing these kinds of practices and understanding should be reinvested into your own maturation, not into something over there or somebody over there. Because everybody in your life is only going to benefit or be hurt by who you are. So if you could just have a clear understanding about what some hardwired personal issues are for you as an individual, you ask anybody in your life, they could tell you. You know, well, Andrea, well, Lina, well, Will, you, and they'll have, 50 things to say in 10 seconds because somebody looks at you in 10, 20 seconds, they know your whole thing. Just looking at you 10, 20 seconds. So it's easy for the external world to define where your problems are. That's why we're afraid of the external world and other people. But what if you utilize that, conspiracies, this and that, all as this mosaic movie picture that's trying to make you perfect. So if you don't listen well enough, you're devoted to that, even if it takes 10,000 years. If you can't figure out how to fix the refrigerator, you're devoted to that. But it's all inside yourself. Like, I don't think of those things as something over there. I think of it as in here. So you should have a felt relationship that trumps or transcends your cognition. Cognition is not capable of experiencing reality. Do you know that? Why don't you write that down? Cognition is not capable of experiencing reality. You can't experience reality through thought. Don't you know that? As a principle, anyway. That's a principle. I mean, that's a fact, How do you understand that? Well, isn't reality when you're super calm, when you see the whole subject observationally without thought? Isn't that reality? When you're behind the scenes of environment? Then you can have thought engaging in the relative field. But what's primary? Like the Guru of the Beatles teaches us, science teaches us, get back to the wave. Silence. Be the observer of you and everyone. If you can do that, then you can feel. You can't feel if don't have a silence mind. If you don't have silence in your mind, you can't feel. So why don't you say, I don't have silence in my mind, I can't feel my emotions. Why don't you try that confession? Forget the positive. I do not have silence in my mind and I cannot feel my emotions. I'll try it. Does that help? Anybody there? What's going on? I'm talking to myself? All right.
That helps me. Thank you.
Okay. Does that make sense, honey?
Yes, it's for me it's so tough to silence the mind. Sometimes it's, I think, the hardest part. I always find myself like an inner voice talking about people, criticizing people, especially people in the past, like always something like a negative about this and this. It's very challenging to be an observer, as you said. So
all you got to do is,
here.
you love it. All you got to do is voice it to somebody. Use me to heal you. Doesn't matter if I'm enlightened, if I'm good, if I'm bad, I'm what, doesn't matter. Have the courage to use me for your healing. So you could do that with Sadhguru, you can do that with Amaji, you can do that with Plato. Get yourself healed. And the fundamental of healing is grace, not law. I wrote down like 20 Bible verses this morning about that. Don't have them here, but you're justified by faith and saved by faith through grace. Or the other way, you're saved by grace through faith. It's a gift. So if you demand to be the one that understands, then you can't do it. So this is what great contact's all about. You can't have silence in your mind by yourself. So who are you going to let in? What are you going to let in? It's as easy as mechanics. Simply do what you just did. Give your confession to whatever, whomever. And it doesn't, you know, I was so desperate for healing that I figured out something that every person with mental health challenges and addiction problems should figure out. And that is that you go to a class or you go to a teacher, the hell with who the teacher is in the class. I'm there to get something I need to live. I don't care about who the freaking teacher is in the class anymore. They're playing my game. I'm there to get, I learned that about churches. Get in and get out. You have to make it work for you. You don't play around with all of the false teachers and all of the imperfect people like me. No, just like be a survivor and say, I got to get this. You know, you're doing the PhD and you got to get this reference book. It doesn't matter if you like the librarian or not, or even if the librarian is good or bad. You got to get the freaking book. I'm cursing a lot lately, aren't I? You got to get the book. So that's what the my favorites list is. And the foundation of the my favorites list is step 1, which basically is confessions. My mind is too active and I'm too critical. There, you said it. And the whole world now can point their finger at you and judge you because that's what they're going to do. And so you got to go on to step 2. You got to say, okay, world, I get it. I expose my weakness and you're going to attack, huh? And you're going to be a fighter and you say, okay, I'll play that game. Why? Because you're on your way to healing. So you got to allow step 1 to function in such a way to where it shakes up the dirt of this issue of I think too much, I can't quiet my mind. Not compared to me or her or him or anything, just in your own world. I'd like to have more peace of mind. I'd like to be less critical, or I'd like to understand how that works. Well, you know, everybody knows that as soon as somebody talks like that, they all love you, really. I mean, decent people. They're all like, oh, that's so good. Because I'm that way too. So it's really, you don't get the pointing finger in the community of conscious people. You get compassion. And so now we're in the same place. One beggar telling another beggar where to find bread. So you have a map, you have a GPS, so you don't have to worry about personalities. Because I'm not a sage. But you have to get the library book. So you're going to get the library book because that's what you need, that's what you choose, and that's what you're going to do. That's all. You got to wait in line. You got to do whatever. You got to take guff and somebody not being nice. You got to deal with things you don't understand and personalities and all. Okay, I'm busy. I got to get the library book. So once you're so desperate for healing that you know that you got to get the library book. I mean, if you were getting the PhD and you're on the thesis and you needed that book, God knows what you'd do to get that book. If it costs money, if it costs sacrifice, costs time, it costs obligation, you'd have done just about anything. So remember how many places you went to to send the Kinkos? Can I tell that story? To send the thesis? So she's got to send the thesis in. She's back in Mexico. And, you know, now this is something you want. You go to work, you can do all the, can you imagine how much work she did? I can't fathom it really. But A's and A's and A's and A's and A's and A's. Now she's in Mexico. She's only got a deadline to send the thesis out. So many days, she's got to send it out today. So she goes, this Kinko's closed, that Kinko's closed, that Kinko's closed, that Kinko's closed. They're all closed. And she went back home and all the pages were printed out wrong. And she would have blew 20 years of daily torture of study. But she knew I got to go to every Kinko's, and still divine grace, which is a real thing called the supernatural, didn't let her send it. And she'd go home and she looks at things like, things were printed weird. So, is there a divine and a super? This is the point again. Is there a divine? Is there a supernatural? Of course there is. Come on. Is the psychic real? Oh, come on, please. Like, yeah, I'm getting tired of like answering those questions, not like between us or anything, but just like as a question in the world. You don't know that there's higher intelligence than you. You don't know that the divine is real. You don't know that psychic is real. What the hell do you know? You know? So I want to confirm that the way to get to this place of divine grace is to first conceive of it. Because then it's like a mother and father kind of taking care of you and doing things and you don't even know it. And then all of a sudden being conscious of what they do for you. It opens up a different, or what they did, whatever. It opens up a portal. So in this class, in this forum, I'm not your friend. I'm your taskmaster. This is PhD land, and I got a curriculum, and I ain't changing it for $2 or your kindness or your friendship or whatever. I don't do that. It's just, you enter into a temple thing or whatever, and you have a curriculum, and that's what I'm offering you. And the curriculum is extraordinary, I promise you. So if you go to the librarian, you're going to get the book. This is my favorite system, the Scribbles Map. The Scribbles Map says, oh, I want more silence in my mind. Oh, how William said this thing, how you're going to feel if you can't stop thinking. So you can't even feel your body and then your emotion. You can't do it. You can only look at it from thought. That's why in the first part of this class, I wait for the eyes to reverse. So I'm trying my best, and I've known that for many, many years in teaching somebody. I'm like, and I wait until your bubble bursts and you ground. Because until your bubble bursts and you ground and you become subject and a student, until that happens, there's no step two. So do you still want to use your anxiety or your fear or your problems to stop you from feeling? In this structure, you don't have to do that, at least for this time frame. Now, once again, I don't exhibit some type of mastery. I exhibit being a librarian. So you got a library card. The library card is that you got to do step 1, 2, 3, ABC. You don't do step 1, 2, ABC. You don't have a library card. You do not have what it takes for me to give you what I have, if in fact you want what I have. So, and of course, it's not what I have, it's what sages have. I mean, extraordinary intelligence, extraordinary energy, extraordinary abilities. That's what this path leads to. And so I've just been a scientist that's trying to transmit the blueprint of what you can do. But obviously I don't equal that kind of wisdom. So it's kind of a hard path to go following me. That's why I keep trying to get you to Amachi and somebody else. All right, so the surrender to this moment means that the ears and the eyes and the nose, they all go in and they all go down. Do you look in my eyes sometimes and see that I'm like stoned or something? But I'm not stoned on any kind of drug. I'm in that mystery. So I know that you have that. I'm not trying to say I'm better than you and I have it and you don't know. But I'm saying I can do it while I'm talking to you. Can you do it while you're talking to me? Can you feel protected and be in your secret intimacy place and talk to somebody and have your boundaries intact? Can you do that? Or are you so afraid that the second you look to somebody, it's all out there? subject object, you and me. No togetherness. So you should put that on the confession list, because I know I can't do it that well. I'm teaching, it's easier, but step one, checklist. I can't look at somebody and remain in my secret place. Another confession, right? Is that true or not? Yeah. So we lose the magic we have because of shock, because of fear. So once you get this idea, you can go on to step two. And step two is this wonderful experience of being nourished. So you say, okay, now I'm going to be nourished. And what do you want to do to be nourished? Once again, I only have the template. You can only get it from me in a certain measure. But really, you have to do it yourself. So if you follow the blueprint, you follow the template, it says, oh, I'm going to slow my breath. I'm going to connect with nature. I'm going to put it on an audio or a video. That's enough information. Then from there, the book is 600 pages, right? So you can learn more. But how about trying that first? Follow directions for step two. Science says you get to creative genius and healing when you're in theta waves. So you can do it for the out there. When you're helping a client, when you're teaching a class, when you're studying a subject, can you do it in here? Can you at least make that a practice? Where you go, I'm going to do this step one, I'm going to do this step two, I'm going to do this step three. Why? Because those are the steps that lead to personal healing. Too bad that William was the one that showed me, but now I know it's real, so it's mine. I don't care where it came from. Step two is everything slows down. Alpha waves promotes mental healing, promotes physical healing. So you have to make it happen. What are the instructions? Let's take some deep, long breaths, okay? Now, as I teach, I'm going to be more torturous over time. Did you figure that out, Andrea? It's only going to get longer and more. It's only going to get more meditation. I'm only going to be smarter. So if you have a problem now, boy, look out for tomorrow. But what if we're all just healing? What if we escape the world and heal? Is that okay for you, or are you busy? Well, I got the freaking map and template. You got the map, and you then write it down and give it to me if you can't tell me, so that I can understand about it. Otherwise, then I'm the leader. Too bad. Longer, 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 longer. Let me see what you all look like. Longer, 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 longer. That was one breath. That was one breath. And I'm not winded. I'm just asking you to make your breath longer, okay? That's all. Just do that and watch. We'll both have miracles. Just trust it. You gotta trust somebody somewhere. Longer, 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 longer. Let's pick our nose. Let's pick our nose and eat it. Let's pick our nose and eat it. Zen. I did. It's a different finger, honey. It's a different finger. I did this and this. Longer. You want to see the flowers? Okay. I can't go out with the beads. The neighbors will know how weird I am. I'll go out with the shirt though. But ye. Andrea, doesn't Lena have to be a saint? Can you imagine like just being next to me or in a car for like 5 hours? You'd probably just get knocked out, I think.
I would get knocked out.
I think so.
I would try to knock you out, maybe.
Let's go.
Lena is a saint. Yes.
Don't sing it, bring it. What's up? You got something? You feeling froggy? Jump.
They're so like 80s.
Oh.
Oh, geez.
Mm-hmm.
You know what this time reminds me of? That saying, stop and smell the roses.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The mind, the attention can either be omni or it can be subject object. Training allows you to have specific time when you can expand your mind and you can merge back into silence and stillness. And over the years, you gain more ability to make your mind silent, for example, for just a few moments or for a long time. The energy in the brain is over compulsed. I made up that word this morning, compulsed with subject object, with external. Because as soon as you get the cracker, as soon as you get the food, as soon as you get something out there, an understanding, as soon as you figure something out, you have some freedom. So, and relief. So we figure, hey, let's have the glass of water. Hey, let's eat food. Hey, let's, because that's going to work. Actually, none of it works. The only thing that works is for you to become self-resourceful, which means that this thing up here that is overly understanding out here, it first seeds so that the energy comes down into your body. That's what builds magnetic power in your body, is that the brainstem convergence creates a superfine saliva and you get this feeling of embodiment, same as eating something. Same as understanding something. Oh, got it. You land. But where's the source of it? The source of it externally is only a catalyst. The source of it must be realized internally. So there's inner listening, inner smelling, inner looking, brainstem convergence, and then this nectar goes down. You should feel a magnetic wave in your body. You can't feel a magnetic wave in your body unless you become trusted with the field. Trusted with the field means total surrender. Absolute surrender to everyone and everything and everywhere. And to be completely independent and alone, abandoned. Lucky for me, I already did that such extreme measure. It's not a big deal. So I can do alone. And that's what you've got to do to get together. Get alone to get back together. Return your energies to yourself, that you can have better relationships, that you can have better communication. Well, first, you have to find your body. Because you can't find the earth unless you find your body. So where's your body? Your body is not in a constant obsession with who I am and who she is and who they are and what's going on out there. You can't find your body there. But life has taught you to be in shock and to keep everyone and everything out, never accept instructions, so forth. That's the way it is, I'm telling you. So if you structurally say, I'm going to take time today to just ground. Where's the ground? I can see energy. So I can see in 1 second whether you have the ground or not. I can see in 1 second what the direction of your eyes are. Like the inside is part of your awareness or not. So find out where it's all taking place, which is within you. What did Jesus say? Kingdom of heaven within you. See if you can calm down enough that your brain touches the earth. Like your awareness touches the earth. So the mind tries to keep it under control, you know. Don't let anyone in, don't let anything in. Because it doesn't want exposure, it doesn't want vulnerability. Well, I found that exposure and vulnerability is the path to invincibility. Vulnerability is invincibility. Push hands. The push comes. We were doing mock training yesterday. Lina's learning a lot of stuff. And it's like, so if the push comes and you're in shock, then of course your whole body's like this. The slightest touch will get you in trouble. But if the energy comes from environment and you can actually receive it and work with it, then the energy comes in and down. You develop tremendous personal gravity. Your feet, that's the way you can have a bubble so that any car that comes by, it's just another dimension. It doesn't cross over and bother you. It has the proper fear to not do that. So if you want all the energy and you want all the intelligence, then you have to become completely receptive, totally surrendered. That's what I'm trying to do with my life. What it sounds, what sights, what educations, how everybody else is right. I don't know anything about anything. And just keep on going like this. And so then the energy comes in. So the energy coming in, then I can use it to fix my knee and to open my ears a little more. And you see? So what is in the field of your life right now? Can you let it in and let it do its work of teaching you to grow and change and adapt and educate yourself? Sky. Environment. Environment is made up primarily of people. An environment in terms of mountains and oceans, oceans lapping on shores, twinkling stars, crackling fires, shimmering water, bubbling brooks, furry animals. Oh, that's a good one. Furry animals. Smooth dolphins, soaring eagles, walking bears. Why is this part of enlightenment? Because that's what's here. Do you know that's what's here? You have to structure yourself, tens, fives, customized, to remember that you're distracted and you're not aware of what's here. Bare hands. Under earth. Smell of soil. Magma. Planet spinning around 1,000 miles an hour. Galaxy spinning around 500,000 miles an hour. Galaxy moving through space 1,000,000 miles an hour. That's where you are. Find out what's here. Give time to yourself. Not to me, to yourself. So that you can be healed. So that you can have health. So that you can have insight. Prayer hands. The only life you can have is the devotional life. There's not another life that anybody can have. I find that so hilarious because I know it's true, but I know that does anybody understand that? It's not really like logical or something, but I can tell you for sure that actually that's the reality. The mystery behind the scenes of environment, the lapping shores, the magic, math intelligence, political psychology, government intelligence. In other words, whatever's here, it should inspire so much awe that you should lead a devotional life. To what? To what's here. What's in your life? Let's open up to the stars, around the sides of the planet, underneath the planet, up through. What is the importance of the devotion emotion? Well, that's why everybody does everything. It's all for an emotional return, no matter what you're doing. You think, I'm going to do this and I'm going to feel better. Basically, emotionally is the main deal. So why not go to the root of emotional healing? Love, kindness, surrender, compassion, strength, fighting in the right sense. Just go right to the root. Skip thought, go right to the root, and feel emotionally nourished over a span of time. And then thought, everything's better. This way. Adjust your stance, find your feet more, a little more gravity in your stance. It is said in the Taoist scriptures, the enlightened person's breathing reaches all the way down to their heels. So you want to be aware of the earth and your body as part of your brain, as part of anything you're doing with your brain. And then that expands to nature. That's why these great geniuses are always talking about nature, right? I'm sure Plato does it. All kinds of people. They always refer to nature in analogies. Why? Because that's what's here. If you're not aware of what's here, then what are you aware of? So the world can move really fast. And we were watching Ip Man last night, and I was really liking how deliberate he was in his actions. That's how a master moves. So you don't have to move fast in the sense that you think. Like Miyamoto Musashi, greatest warrior in history, said speed is not part of the way of strategy. The greatest warrior in history said you don't have to train speed. What? It just means that if you're here, you're going to respond with the right timing to whatever you need to respond to. So you don't have to be frenetic trying to keep up and trying to outdo and trying to keep ahead and trying to be a step ahead and all. No, do the opposite. Back off. You don't have to keep up with the world just because somebody told you. You can be the best coach and the best student and the best everybody if you just back off. Because you're going to have some kind of magnetism that allows you to move fast. You got to move fast. It allows you to speak correctly, listen better. Notice how I put speaking first, honey. Let's do it in front. You must have clear personal problems that you're endlessly self-critical about, or you're not going to evolve. Slow down. Just all you got to do is slow down. That's all you got to do. Don't do your own movements. Just match my movements. Just do my movements. Lock onto and follow my movements. Because you don't get the transmission. You can't get the transmission if you look for 2 seconds and do your own thing. I'm doing this for 1,000 years. Just do my movements. You do your own thing later. When you learn from some teaching, the best student just follows along. I feel a heat and a magnetism in my hands. You feel that now? Yes? Or no? Andrea, yes or no? Okay. Honey, you feel it, right? All right. Now we're going to go to one finger Zen, okay? Adjust the hips. Adjust your stance. Adjust your head. Soften your chest in and down. Concentrate it, your belly button. Spinning galaxy, right? Opening up becomes a spinning galaxy, and then into the throat with the ah, and the spinning galaxy in your throat. Then it's a spinning galaxy in your heart. Your mind must be one with nature now. Your attention. Push a car. Push a shopping cart. Push a car. The belly expands on the push. So this is reverse breathing. This is the most advanced way in Qigong and Taiji and Kung Fu to generate magnetism. Of course, you have to do all that talk on the first step first to get you to the place where you're grounded and receptive so that you have some connection with nature before you have the healing energy. Once you have the healing energy, you can condense it. Condensing energy is a very, very important part of life. 1 teaspoon of a neutron star weighs something like 50 billion tons. 1 teaspoon. So gravity and weight is very, very important for grounding the brain. So that means you're constantly like touching down. How are you touching down? By accepting everyone, everything, everywhere. Being the only student, the only one that doesn't know, has a problem, confused. You'll eclipse everybody. Because nobody does that. Nobody has a problem. Everybody just is on go. So once you have a problem and the energy of life comes in to heal you and remake you, change you, the ears and the eyes and the nose, it performs brainstem convergence. It means your ears listen better, your eyes receive more, your nose receives more. You become the valley that gets all the water, and your brainstem becomes activated. You get a sweet saliva in the mouth. That sweet saliva in your mouth goes down through your body. That's Amrita they talk about in yoga, or golden pollen in Qigong. So you're able to relax your mind goes down your body touches the earth, you get grounded, you're humble, the energy builds. As the energy builds, you develop a different sort of life to where you're moving with energy all the time. Now, reverse breathing is a way to take the energy that you've got, if you gained it, through the steps beforehand. Because you can't just work with whatever energy. You have to like be given a new lease, a new clean slate, fresh start, surrender to life, start over. And now you get this energy. It comes to you from environment because of your humility, your teachability, your wrongness. Again, you're not me. You can be way better than me and I can still be teaching you. That's all right. You have to deal with that with teachers. Right? You could do that for a degree. What about for enlightenment? So it's still a bunch of human beings. So you take the knowledge and you make it your own by codifying it. You write it down on a piece of paper. This piece of knowledge, this is my favorites, this thing, scribble from that. Now you have your path, this custom designed path. given to you from life and from real teachers. So now you have this healing energy, right? I hope so. And that healing energy, you push a heavy shopping cart. So now your mind is sending out the magnetism to the muscles, but the muscles aren't using it. So it becomes energy that goes into the psychic field, establishing your personal space. A heavier shopping cart. To extend your attention span in your body this way is the solution for emotional issues, so forth, because your body's the ground wire for your brain. So once you have done enough of these kinds of things, your nerves are lit up, not just your brain, your body nerves. Now let's push a car. What happens when you push a car? You sit down and the belly expands when you push, right? All right, watch the field in front. Discipline, duty, methodicity, boring, repetition. How come it works every time you do the class? In the beginning of the class, you don't know what the hell I'm doing. By this part of the class, you're like, whoa, something's happening. Simple, boring repetition. We didn't even do the meditation yet, but now you're in the field of energy. I can see both of you are in the field of energy. You know what energy is. You didn't know what energy was in the beginning of the thing. You have to slow down. If you want to be the fastest, you have to be the slowest. That's how you study, right? You study very slow and careful. Well, what about with life? What about your relationships? Badwa Jin, 8 pieces of silk. Number 1, 2 hands holding up the heavens. When you're following a curriculum, whether it's how to work out or how to study something, all you do is 2 hands like this and holding up the heavens. When you follow a curriculum, you don't have any say in the curriculum. All you're doing is what you're told to do. That's how it rolls. That's what a curriculum is. Two hands are holding up the heavens. Put your hands up. Keep them there. That's how it is. So what's the my favorites list going to be? It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be the things I do. That's fine. But I'm trying to make sure that you understand it has to be your my favorites list, and it has to be your scribbles map. Has to, must to, should, all those words. That really is just quite wonderful, because now you have a pathway to get into meditation, which is what you want to learn about. Draw the bow, shoot the arrow. But the mind only says, no, my path, what I want. No, that's not how life rolls. You don't create the curriculum of life. The curriculum of life is your my favorites list and a scribbles map. That's not going to change. You can do anything you want to try to get out of that, and it'll never work, never. So I hope that you continue to work on my favorites list and scribbles map, and you understand more about what the science of meditation is, and you become student, follow directions. You compress your belly, compress all your muscles. 45 degrees to the back, front foot straight. Nicole, Alejandra, what do you think? Do you think they're going to get stronger? Do you think they have a method that they're going to get stronger in their mind and their body? I don't think so. I don't believe it anyway. You might know them better than me. You might believe it, but I believe Maggie. You believe Maggie has any chance to get stronger other than this class and these directions? No way. But yet, they ain't here. So it shows that to learn to be a student is not very, very common. But yet your muscles get stronger, your mind gets stronger, your spirit gets stronger. You resolve emotional issues every single time we do all this stuff because we work with the mind, we work with the body, we work with emotion, we work with the elements. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. So you're compressing your muscles, your torso, your arms, everything is compressing. So you do this kind of thing for a year, you super strong body, and you don't have to do anything. Dynamic tension is more important than weights and calisthenics in the sense that your muscles compress because you have a ton of neurological energy. So instant solution for a super strong body. You involve more muscle fibers when you contract your muscles with your mind than you do with weight-bearing exercises. Because weight-bearing exercises only isolate particular muscle groups. And with this, you can learn, like when you're washing the dishes, you can contract your whole body. You can touch your fingers, compress your whole body. Over years, your muscles really get strong. .45 degrees of the feet. All the way through the left foot. Step out to the right, put the foot down straight, turn in on the left heel. Straight up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See my arms. 45 degrees of the feet. All the way through the right foot, about with the left, turn in on the right heel. Palms facing directly and back, elbows bowed, eggs underneath the arms, chest sunken, shoulders drop.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got the energy. 6. All the way through the left foot. 7. Right foot steps forward. Right arm comes out. Left hand comes down. Like this. It looks like this from the front. So you've got to find something for your body, something for your mind, something for your emotion, something for trauma resolution, something for education, something to do with teachers. You'll have to find a mosaic of things that will teach the only thing that matters, which is your inner world. What I'm doing now is I'm moving magnetic energy. My eyes are not here anymore. The sky and the earth and the nature is what I'm doing. And that's giving me magnetic energy. And that magnetic energy I'm moving in space. So you can move magnetic fields in space. You're going to have to learn about it a little bit. Well, let's do something push hands. I wanted to do it. Okay, who wants to do push hands?
Can I ask a question first? Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
So there's sometimes that when we do the Qigong moves, whether I'm in class or on my own, and after I've done them, it was happening now. My right leg is like trembling. So should I just let it tremble? Like, what's the purpose?
Yeah. That means chilling, unless you're just too much muscles, but you have plenty of leg strength to be standing around like that, right? So yeah, the nerves aren't, I don't want to be looking down on anybody. The nerves are more important than the muscles. So when you do this kind of stuff, your emotional body, well, that's what I say in yoga, it's like a layer, kind of like a sheet of paper or something. And once you reveal the emotional body, this challenge to receive energy from nature becomes a challenge. And inside of certain areas of your mind body, there are these neurological roots, this thing on the right side that we define, that you always put in your, pardon me, in your scribbles map.
Yep.
That's like, it's like the difference between acupuncture and qigong. With qigong, the water increases in the pipes and it heals the thing, heals the blockage. Acupuncture puts a needle from the outside in, and like a roto-rooter, you know, like putting a hanger down a drain, and it cleans the blockage.
Okay.
So what we're doing with the qigong is changing our neurology. Neurology is the one thing that we have to have enough power to change, and that means, you know, a certain level of magnetic energy is given to our body mind. And then as the neurology gets healed and upgraded, then tendrality changes. That means your connection in psychic space to other people. Well, the roots of that is your neurology. Where in your body do you have thin wires, for example, that only carry so much current? Well, those wires have to be expanded so that now you have more current. Then your thinking process and your understanding of the world and the others and your projects is all going to increase. So the whole thing I'm trying to do is just focus on your own process as the main thing. And so I would just allow it. Of course, in Qigong and in Tai Chi, there's a lot of talk about different things like that happening. Itching, magnetic sensations, burning,
I
trembling.
want to throw up. Like, and there's a part sometimes where I'm like, "Ugh, I don't feel good. I feel sick. I feel sick. That's how it feels. When I'm not sick, it just feels like I just need to sit down. I don't feel good. So that's all normal. Okay.
Yeah, it's totally normal. Because what's going on around here is that you're going to slow down easy way, hard way. And if you want to fight, you came to the right place. Oh, that's the idea. And you'll notice the whole thing is, it's a challenge during the entire process to actually come to the place of being still, being quiet, being surrendered. And that's what the training is. The training is simply that you submit yourself to some quote, some Plato, something, and you let the fight take place. And the fight is going to be against Plato and your mind. And you better let Plato win, because the more you don't let Plato win, the more that you're going to have problems, because Plato's more. And so what I'm representing, we're trying to represent anyway, is like real gurus, right? Real teaching. So there's always going to be a battle. Secretly, you and everybody else thinks you're teaching me. Now, I don't know why you think that. I noticed that that's a pattern of every single person in the entire world. When they go to a teacher, they're the master. So that's where the feeling of discomfort comes in, because it's very, very difficult to accept that somebody else is the teacher. And so if I can represent it good enough, maybe say, okay, yeah, I'll surrender and let the nausea come up and out, and let the inability to quiet down and the inability to be a student, you know, all the things that I harp on about myself, about us as individuals, you know, I'll let that be exposed. Well, when that is exposed, you've got hormonal things and neurological things and brainwave things and emotional things that now all of a sudden on the surface, it all comes up. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Because if you can let it come up, it's going to go out. Once it goes out, all of a sudden Zen's going to start meditating. All of a sudden, as soon as you get the process of the grounding happening, the whole world meditates because of you. If you can do that in relationship with your family, relationship with anybody, they all have a chance to start to realize that we don't need anything, that we're blessed, that we're happy, that there's nothing to do. Just go to the garden, enjoy the flowers. Stop believing that you can't do that and that you have to. I'll do that, but tomorrow, and I'm going to get on it. It's time to work. It's all bullshit. I watched my whole family lose themselves. $10 million, 2 PhDs, all this stuff.
And my opinion, they don't really have the capacity to communicate about deep subjects. It's not something anybody's interested in. You want to go your whole life and not be able to do that? Let's make today an opportunity where we trust life, where we surrender, and we make the garden and the flowers and the meditation the primary thing we're doing. Let's try to do that together. Because like I had this thing with Andrea yesterday with the flowers, I'm like, can I just command her to get the flowers? Do the flowers. You know, what do I got to, what do you want me to do? You know, all these people dropping out of the class. Are you serious? Go find another Qigong teacher like me. Good luck. I mean, I know that's ego and confusion involved in there, but it's like, what? So the whole world discards real wisdom, and that's what I learned. The whole world, actually, the smarter you are, the more it's a discarded thing, the more that they have no interest, because they have to reverse their attention, and reverse their attention psychologically is not something that's interesting. It seems to be antithetical to the solution. But it doesn't God and sages say that trust and meditation and forget it and be still and quiet down? And don't they all say that that's the instruction? And aren't these the people that have creative genius beyond geniuses? So where is everybody's logic at about what they follow in life? And I'm just voting for, like yesterday with the flowers, whatever the money, just go get the flowers. Just get the flowers. Those flowers cost me a fortune, didn't they, honey? We couldn't eat for 2 months because of those flowers, just 3 grains of rice and 2 chickpeas. But I'll tell you, I'll take the flowers over the food any day of the week. Everybody my whole life says, don't do that, get a job. Don't, and boy, are they so wrong. Every year it's proven to me beyond a doubt. The only conversation everybody has is about being somebody and doing something. And y'all are so wrong. I'll live in a cave. You can do what you want. You have no idea what you're talking about. You just don't have any idea. So, make sure that today you have some kind of fulfillment, that you enjoy the flowers, that you merge back, that you quiet down, that you trust life. I don't care what she does and he does and they do. I'm just asking you as my friend and my love, just do it, please. Just let me tell you to do one thing. Just do it. Make it primary and do that today. And if you just could follow directions and get the flowers Monday and whatever else and do this today and stretch time out from your obsessive, frantic desire to be somebody and do something, if you could just do that, you're going to find that you could just do anything you want because your intelligence skyrockets. So you can now, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Personally, I just want to heal myself. So that's what I do with my energy and my intelligence mostly. Heal myself and heal those closest to me. That's not making money. That's not me being an impact in the world. I understand. But I'm just ignorant. I don't know how to do everything, but I know how to do that. So as far as I can tell, I'm patterned to be enlightened. I'm patterned and ingrained and set to be healed. And, whenever I die, to win. Want to win the game. So, that works. And hopefully with a little more grounding, a little more intelligence, maybe I can do both. Go to Italy, have some money, buy a chicken sandwich. So when you start to, calm down a little bit because you did some exercise, because you connected with nature, because you did something emotional, catharsis and support, you found something that works. Now you can begin to go to where the solution is, because we didn't get anywhere near the solution yet. All we did is clean out the body and heal some things and discipline some things and all that. That's all we did so far. So that only makes you still, makes you pay attention. But that's barely a beginning, because now you got to go into the internal world. Now you have to fall in love and become happy. So you're going to, by choice, you're going to fall in love and become happy. Okay. Again, I only am so together and so good. I get it. I don't represent it. Yeah, I get it. But the principles are immaculate. God is so good, it's silly. And I put them together. So when you go into meditation, fall in love and become happy. Get turned on. That's what you got to do when you meditate. So the instruction is brainwave coherence and hormonal nectar. That's what science says. So you don't have a script. That's the script. So you surrender your mind. You go, oh, I'm going to extend my brain waves. I'm going to fall in love, become happy. I'm going to have hormonal activation. And it's all going to be self-sourcing. It's not going to be directed towards a cookie. It's just, that'll be later. It's all directed towards just the self. Because the one you're looking for is yourself. So arrogance and dissociative commentary and awareness, it's not going to make it. It's going to cause humiliation. So, you might want to just choose, oh, I understand this and this and this and this, and stop analyzing teachers and waiting for them to be perfect, because that's not going to happen. So let's put the videos off. Babaji, Babaji, Babaji. And just listen.
Life is a place so enchanting.
Life is a place of enchanting.
All this world is divine, created.
All this world is divine, you created.
No end or beginning.
Do you have faith in the words of sages? They all say that. They all say that behind the scenes of environment is love and mystery and magic. Do you want that? Or are you busy?
All this world is divine.
He created. No end or beginning to this deep mystery. Father, your grace is eternal.
Life is a place so enchanting.
Boring repetition. It slows you down to a complete stop. No end or beginning to this deep mystery.
Father of place eternal. Life is a place so enchanting.
All this world is divinely created. No end or beginning to this deep mystery. Father, your grace is eternal.
Millions of love
Are born of all unity, creating the universe we see.
millions of love are born of the beauty, creating the universe we see.
Billions of forms
Are born of the unity, creating the universe we see. Millions of love are born of the beauty, creating the universe we see. Amma, your smile, becomes of creation, a blossoming garden in Canaan. Amma, your smile, becomes our creation, a blossoming garden eternal. Amma, your smile, becomes our creation, a blossoming garden eternal. Amma, your smile, becomes our creation, a blossoming garden eternal. Life is a place of enchanting. All this world is divine, created. No end or Life is a place so enchanting. All this world is divinely created. No end or beginning to this deep mystery. Mother, your grace eternal. Long, long ago, in a cave in Italy, you gave us a vast golden sea. Long, long ago, in a heavenly dream, you gave us a vast golden sea. Long, long ago, in a heavenly dream, you gave us a vast golden sea. Long, long ago, in a heavenly dream, you gave us a vast golden sea.
Maybe the waves are just rising and falling.
How
How can we tell the story?
we were the waves always rising and falling?
How can we tell the story?
We
Life,
were the waves always rising and
not thinking is a choice,
how can we tell
and
the
it's imperative for mental health.
We were the waves always rising and
If
falling.
you see yourself
How
thinking,
can
say
we
thinking,
tell the story?
and then just let the grace in.
Life is a place so enchanting. All this world is divinely created. No end or beginning to
Very
this
boring.
mystery.
The art of boring is much forgotten. Yet it's the only way to get anything done, right? Boring repetition.
Life is a place so enchanting.
Prioritize
All
this.
this world is divinely created. No end or beginning to this deep mystery. Mother, your grace eternal. What is our purpose of raising
What's the purpose of praising and blaming?
taking that place
Taking the play to be real. Return to yourself.
What is the purpose of praising and blaming? Taking the play to be heard. What is the purpose? Praising and blaming, taking that play to be real. What is
Please
the
drop your head into your
purpose
hands.
of praising and blaming, taking the play to be heard? We are for divine light.
The world's in a
How
state of
can we
agitation,
sing
but it's always been that way. Why not just rest a while?
How can we sing your glory? We are
Just
dancing
make the body heavier on the exhale.
How can we sing
Sense the nasal airflow and see the eyelid light.
We are
These instructions should repeat for the rest of your lives.
How can we sing your
Because every time you return to yourself,
Life is a place so enchanting.
every time you become free
This
again,
world is divinely
you're dipped in magic waters.
No end or
The fields of your life is clear.
Life is a place so enchanting. All this world is divinely created. No end or beginning to this deep mystery. Father, your praise eternal. Life is a place so enchanting.
Take the time, make the time. Heavier on the exhale. More rest, more grace and forgiveness for yourself and others. More silence. No matter what other minds are doing. You can rest your mind now. Find the time. Reverse the search. Rest your mind. Sigh.
Go and go digging to this deep mystery. Mother, your place to turn. 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 Mother, your place to turn.
Bhakti. See the screen?
We'll never get it out now.
So certain are you?
You felt the magnetic energy. That's the force. Live in it.
Always with you, it cannot be done. Do you nothing that I say?
Master, moving stones around is one thing. This is totally different.
No, no different. Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
What do you have to do? You have to fall in love, become happy, and share that with others. That's the only thing you have to do. And that's an undoing. That's a surrender. Great magnetism comes with that. It's independent of circumstance. It's yours. It's a gift. You could change your whole life in an instant for the better. And that's really what you have to do every time you practice.
I can't. It's too big.
Size matters not. Look at me. Judge me by my size, do you? And where you should not. For my ally is the force. And the powerful qualities
Its energy surrounds us.
makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we.
Not this crude matter.
You must feel the force around you.
Between you and me and the
Between
tree.
you, me, the tree. Everywhere. Yes. Even between the land and ship.
You want the impossible.
Make this another birthday. Where you're born again. I prioritize this. Don't worry about the other things as a priority.
I don't believe it.
That is why you fail.
Let's see. What's that other one? Oh.
Life is a place so enchanting. All this world
Let's see what's going on.
Paying attention, even though you're not. Your mind's filling up again. You're missing out on everything that's going on.
There's nothing going on.
There's nothing going on.
Shaktipat. Transmission of the energy of the teacher. What's going on?
There's never nothing going on.
So you just keep on going. You keep on finding different things like this little magic file here. What's this one?
There's never nothing going on. If you're looking with a clear mind. Start with the past, Dan. Understand something. There's nothing you can do to change it. The past is completely out of your control. You're up on the rings and you think to yourself, last time I didn't do so good. The past now has all your attention and concentration.
Switch to second gear.
So, throw it out.
Grace. Throw it out. What you know, who you are.
The same with the future. Gee, I really hope I ace my dismount. I really hope Joy and I get together. The future now has your concentration. You see?
Just be here.
So throw it out.
Oh. La, la, la. Start over. Make great contact. Start over. Make great contact. Surrender your inside. Surrender your life. Surrender your everything. You want to live longer? You want to be happier, healthier, wealthier? Make now a chance to get the transmission. Because if you can just get the transmission, you clear your way there and your way back. Whatever you're going to do, whoever you're going to talk to. And you can keep the mystery and your path as your own functioning, because you're really the author, writing the script. Ground yourself. Take your power back. Find your feet. Find the earth. That's the ground for your brain, the ground wire of your brain. Through your body to the earth. Find the bloom. Open up a bit. Get some fresh air inside of your psyche, mind, body, neurology. relationship with what's in nature.
நீங்க மகாவதார் பாபாஜியா? உங்களுக்கு 2000 வருஷம் வயசு. இயேசுநாதரே உங்க கூட இமயமலையில இருந்திருக்காங்க. ஆதிசங்கராச்சாரியருக்கு நீங்க கிரியா குண்டலினி சொல்லி கொடுத்திருக்கீங்க. கபீர்தாஸுக்கு நீங்க குரு அப்படின்னு மாமா அடிக்கடி சொல்றாங்க.
Are there wise people who can wipe away your problems? Yes,
கடவுள் இறைவனுடைய சிருஷ்டி எல்லாமே எல்லாரும் கடவுள்.
All you got to do is press play.
எல்லாரும் கடவுள். அப்ப நானும் கடவுளா? நான் கடவுள்னு எனக்கு தெரியும். நீ கடவுள்னு உனக்கு தெரியாது. தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னா உடம்பு நான் இல்லை, மனசு நான் இல்லைங்கிறத உணர்ந்து ஆசைகள் பயங்களை தொடர்ந்தால் நீயும் கடவுளை உணரலாம்.
Energy of the air, all the rooms of your house, and all of the universe, it all becomes your energy because you're part of it. You'll notice that other people are not aware of that. So you can be their friend. You can be more patient. You can have more discipline. You can be respected for it. Lots of options happen. I think that you are responsible with the human genome. You know? Fears in our psyche will challenge us to stabilize our awareness.
இதை பாருங்க, நான் உடனே இங்க போனோம். இப்போ போனோம். எப்படி போறது?
Grace happens, right?
நாம் உனக்கு ஒரு மந்திரத்தை உபதேசிக்கிறோம். அந்த மந்திரத்தை சொல்லி நீ என்ன கேட்டாலும் கிடைக்கும். 7 முறை நீ அந்த மந்திரத்தை உபயோகிக்கலாம். ஆம், ஆனால் உனக்கு மது மாமிசம் சாப்பிடும் பழக்கம் இருக்கிறது. நீ மது அருந்தக்கூடாது, மாமிசம் சாப்பிடக்கூடாது.
அது கஷ்டம். அது இல்லாம நம்மளால இருக்க முடியாது. வாசனா, ஆசைகள்.
Just in your own neurology, just with everything that you are, it's okay.
அந்த மந்திரத்தை பிரயோகிக்கும்
Being loved, being
மது
cared
மாமிசம்
about,
சாப்பிடக்கூடாது.
other people sacrificing for you.
அந்த மந்திரம் பலிக்காது.
இது சரி.
That's what you got to get. Then you can give it to others.
எங்க குடிக்கிறது?
Allow people to do it for you. All these Buddhist scriptures, Bibles, and everything. It's all here. Little neat things like this. Movies. Just make it priority. That's all. That's all I know. Do that if you want. Look at Maggie. Where's she headed now? I don't know. I hope it's okay. Or whoever else. Come on. You got to know the rules of the game. You quiet your mind. You can relax. You can connect with nature. You can receive words of wisdom. When you get washed by some healing energy that you find during your experience, that's one more experience towards the evolution of soul, mind, body, congruency, awareness. It all comes from the transmission. You know the value of one person's presence compared to another person's presence. Use your mind to think about Plato and great wise people and so forth.
7 முறை முடிந்ததும் உனக்கு இந்த மந்திரம் மறந்துவிடும். இப்ப நீ போகலாம்.
Not tomorrow.
மன்னிக்கணும்.
Don't worry about
சென்ட்ரல் ரயில்வே ஸ்டேஷன் அவங்க ஆட்டோ பிடிச்சு போறது. எப்படிங்க போறது?
இந்த திவ்யானந்த பாரதி உனக்கு
Let them
வழிகாட்டுவார்.
be confused because when you meet with them, they're going to get
இந்த அழுக்கு சாமி திவ்யானந்த பாரதியா?
Don't worry.
சரி. சுபமஸ்து.
நீங்க பாபாவுக்கு கொடுத்தது வரமா சாபமா?
பரீட்சை. இறைவன் பாபாவுக்கு வச்ச பரீட்சை. நாம கொடுத்த மந்திரத்தை ஒரு முறை அவனுக்கு பாபா கருத்தில் பயன்படுத்த.
Okay. Video's on. Let's conclude for today. Questions before we go? Questions, honey, before we go and I return back to being a husband? Goofball. From master to goofball in 30 seconds flat. Do you have any questions about, whatever, to ask me? You gotta use me, folks. You have to do it. Ask questions and things.
One question before we wrap up. So I don't know how to put this in a question. So the favorites list and the sages and saints are both equally important.
Yeah.
We can't have no favorites list and just a sages and saints.
No.
Okay.
The favorites list is what you need because you're hopelessly addicted to surface things.
Okay.
So you got to do this favorites list so that you can calm down. Whatever, you're interested in. You go get into that a little bit. Now you have some food for your brain like bananas, and you give the monkey some bananas and the bananas make the monkey calm down. Now you can, oh God, I forgot. Well, any time that I've connected with sage-like things, it's caused like a miracle. My whole body mind was cleared. My life was cleared. I saw new insight into everything. But only if you get to sages is that going to happen. So beginner student, my favorites list. When you're anxious and things, then you've got to use your my favorites list to create a platform and a springboard so that you calm down enough so that you experience the highest you can conceive of to do with wisdom and energy. So you go from my favorites list in a broad spectrum, and then you allow that to become very specific of the highest order quotes, people, places in nature, things. If you can conceive of the possibility of a Buddha, of a Jesus and things like that, which we can't, we kind of have to try again. You can't fly or build a space shuttle unless you conceive of that possibility. So the computer connecting to the net, super intelligent. How can you extrapolate wisdom to reach the level of what a sage is? How can you develop a context? You look at that Babaji guy glowing and, white light, and bless you, and the power comes in the nose. Is there any reality to that? In a very practical way, you could say a person of great presence gives that to you. All of a sudden you meet with the greatest person you ever wanted to meet, and some kind of energy is given to you and you feel refreshed in a moment, where you see the most amazing scene in nature. It has to be insulated. The way that it's insulated is through your willingness to go through these steps so that you can find the concentration where great contact happens and you surrender. When great contact happens and you surrender, now your body mind develops this energy which the car can't compare with. You have power. So now all of the things of the world and your worries and all, you have cushion. It's called coherence, magnetic coherence.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.